trust and earn the right to be on the field. So it doesn't matter how they got here. We're all here. We're all Penn State, and that's what we focus on every day.
Awesome, Coach. Thank you. We're lucky to have you here, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Marques, how's it going?
How are you, bud?
Good. To follow up from our talk in June, I've added My Sherry Amore to my, it's probably number 3 on my Stevie Wonder list. So, Ribbon in the Sky is probably top 5. But
did you say Isn't She Lovely was your top one?
it's a tie between that and Superstition.
Superstition. I would go with Isn't She Lovely. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I don't know. They're both, they're different types of songs.
The way he sings Happy Birthday, too, the Happy Birthday song is one that my family always plays anytime it's a birthday. So that gets a lot of cycle. But I don't think you can go wrong with any Stevie Wonder song. But that's a good follow-up, though.
Absolutely. So, talking about football now, James was a wide receivers coach in the NFL, and I think a lot of people forget that, but he was at one point. So, but being that obviously the head coach knows your job pretty well and like what goes into being a receivers coach, how has that been an advantage for you? And what has your working relationship been with James? Specifically talking about the receiver position. So
I think it's always a good thing because coach will always, add insight or give you suggestions or, sometimes even as a coach you might miss something. And that's why it's always good to be surrounded by people who are as smart or smarter than you. And I think coach, with his vast knowledge of coaching college, calling plays, and, coaching in the NFL, it really helps. Just sometimes you might have an idea or something you want to throw to him, and he'll say, well, think about this or think about that. So it's been a learning experience to work with him, and he's very smart, very smart.
Yeah, so from a leadership standpoint, obviously Parker Washington and Mitchell Tinsley are gone from last year when you were at Virginia, but who have you seen emerge in those leadership roles from that position group? So
I just think the guys are all working to provide leadership in their own way, to be consistent. And so I think collectively guys are just working hard to just be the best that they can be, and within their own way guys are adding leadership. I wouldn't say there's one person in particular. I think collectively the guys are working on leadership and working on coming together. So
yeah, so Dante's one of the older guys. He's signed, sealed, and delivered to follow up on that. But he was right behind you, but he moved away. But
I like what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. But how would you say, obviously camp's only been in session for a few days, but what have you seen from him, and how do you think he's kind of adjusted to being a first-year player here, but also there aren't a lot of people on this team that have played more college football than Dante at the same time? So
I think he's coming to the room and fitting really well. We have a really good group of guys that have embraced him, and he's just trying to find his way and working hard and learning as we grow. But I think there's a lot of good competition in the room from everybody, and I think that's what makes the group go, and it'll continue to make the group go. We're definitely grateful to have him, and we're grateful to have all the guys that we have in the room, and I think it's a good group, and they're going to continue to keep working hard to be the group that we need to be able to win games this year.
So he obviously wasn't here in the spring. Keandre was. What did you see from him in your first time getting to work with him over the spring, and how have you kind of seen him evolve in fall camp too? So
I think the thing with him is just focusing on being the same person every day, just working on being consistent and making plays, and I think so far he's meeting that challenge, and we just got to continue to keep pushing him. The guys in the room are pushing him because they want to make plays and they want to be consistent as well. So I think it's a good group of competition, which I think is always fun to be a part of.
Yeah, so next week we have the practice, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be here, the open practice for admission. James mentioned how it will be an advantage for the younger players to be able to play in Beaver Stadium. And obviously, you've been coaching a long time, but with you being a first-year coach at Penn State, how do you think you'd benefit from coaching in front of a crowd, even though you did it at the Blue-White game? But
I don't know how much I'll benefit. I'm not going to make any plays. It'll be all those guys.
Right.
It'll be fun to watch those guys in that environment, and then obviously so once we get in here when it really counts. So I'm just excited and grateful to be here and excited to watch what these guys become this year. So looking forward to next Saturday as well.
What would you say about the connection that the receivers are building with the quarterbacks so far?
I think the more time they continue to spend with those guys, the chemistry and the communication will be a lot more easier and consistent, and I think that allows for an opportunity to make more plays on the field. And so I think those guys are investing a lot of their personal time, especially now with downtime from school, just trying to be as invested and connecting with the quarterbacks as possible. I think that's important for the season. So I think the more they can do that, the chemistry and the communication will continue to grow.
All right, anything else?
good.